This is an important video speaking on what may be a very sensitive topic to some people, so be aware as you enter this experience. We all have our opinions on issues involving the LGBT community and gun control. Here are mine, and I invite all of you watching this to leave your thoughts in the comments below after watching this video. I'm aware that this video is going to run a bit long, but I would invite you all to stick around for the entire video. This is the most time I've ever spent compiling a video script together, so hopefully you can understand that this is a topic I feel I need to discuss. Thank you. For the first 16 years of my life, I hated gay people. I didn't just mildly dislike them or turn away when I saw the icky gay couples kissing on TV. I legitimately hated gay people in the entirety of the LGBT community for what they were and what they represented as a whole. Thankfully, I've come to my senses in recent years, and that is no longer the case. From a very young age, I was taught to believe that gay people, more often than not referred to as fags, were sick, vile, and disgusting pieces of waste that did nothing but spread AIDS around until they died, destined to rot in the pits of hell for all eternity. Yeah. That's what happens when you're raised purely by people of the older and less understanding generation, with 3 of my 4 raising influences having been alive during the period of segregation. Being raised in good old conservative Oklahoma, I'm absolutely positive that I'm not the only one who was raised with this mindset. Some of you may still have this opinion of the LGBT community, and let me speak for us all by saying, screw you. If I lose a few subscribers for this, honestly that would make me so happy. I honestly don't need your intolerance, hatred, and negativity anywhere near my life. You may be asking yourself how I changed my views of gay people when everything around me told me not to. The answer is simple. I came to know and interact with LGBT people and began to realize, guess what? They're just people. I imagine talking to a gay person now is similar to what it was like talking to a black person 60 or 70 years ago. I came to know them as good, well-meaning, and intelligent people who are simply living like the rest of us to experience life and be happy with a sense of security and safety. From that realization onward, I've wanted to use the power of my voice to try and change people's negative feelings toward the LGBT community, but I never really felt the push to speak up until the tragic hate crime that was committed in Orlando. Here's the story. Omar, Islamic middle names, Mateen, an American-born Muslim, brought a semi-automatic rifle, as well as other weapons, into The Pulse, a gay club in Orlando, where he proceeded to shoot over 100 people, 49 of whom died in the club or shortly thereafter. It has been reported that Mateen was a regular at the nightclub, leading people to assume that he may have been a closet homosexual. I'm not going to choose a side here and blame either Islam or guns for this. Instead, I'm going to place the blame equally on both. Yes, Omar Mateen was a Muslim who had allegedly pledged his allegiance to ISIS. Let's not forget, however, that he was an American-born Muslim. He wasn't born an Afghan, as Trump would call it. He was born in New York. He was also on the FBI terrorist watch list and managed to somehow obtain the weapon he used for the massacre, a Sig Sauer MCX assault rifle, insert picture here. This is a moment when liberals scream, "We need better gun control to make sure dangerous weapons capable of killing dozens of people in a matter of minutes don't get placed in the wrong hands." A sensible comment, wouldn't you agree? And all that the far-right Republicans hear is, "Them dumb tree-hugging, panty-waist liberal sons of bitches that are trying to take my goddamn guns away." No matter who you are, you should be able to see that something needs to change here. We obviously can't stop people entirely from buying weapons when that is one of the earliest things protected in the Constitution. An excellent point that I've heard tossed around, however, is that the weapons protected in the 1700s were not semi-automatic weapons capable of slaughtering hundreds of people in a matter of minutes with the right determination. And yes, I'm well aware that if someone wants a gun, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it somehow. But when you are someone who's wanting to shoot up a whole room full of people, and you just trot down to the local gun store, and you pick up a semi-automatic rifle, and you can actually do it while you're on an FBI terrorist watch list, and then you proceed to go and shoot over 100 people, killing 50 of them. Can you idiots not see, in this scenario, that something needs to change? There needs to be some kind of a limitation. Something that says you cannot purchase something capable of killing hundreds of people without going through better ways of determining if you're a frickin' terrorist or not. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you watching this? Because it makes sense to me. Because I know that old Omar What's-His-Face could just walked out to some back alley somewhere and got a high-powered weapon. But that's not what he did. He went to a gun store. He went to a gun store and he bought the rifle that he used to slaughter all those people. Nearly effortlessly purchased it. Anyone could do that. Now, don't think that I'm some liberal, far-left gun nut who thinks guns don't need to exist at all. We need to just throw them in a pile and sing Kumbaya holding hands. That's not me. I do agree that people need to own personal firearms for protection from the government and other personal defense needs, since I don't exactly trust the government farther than I can throw a pebble. I do believe that the right to bear arms is being threatened in the upcoming election, but nobody with a moderate stance has even a remote chance of becoming president at this point. What I believe is there need to be stricter rules for obtaining weapons in this country that are heavily enforced. Hey Republicans, guess what? I'm not saying I want to take away your guns. Here's the other side in this argument. The alternate solution, which I feel would have a greater support with a Trump presidency, is to just get rid of all Muslims in the country who are seen as a potential threat. This may lead to the 21st century Holocaust, but of course who cares as long as those terrorist Muslims are gone, right? What people fail to see is that there are extremes to every group. Islamic extremists are known as ISIS, or simply as terrorists. Keep in mind that extremist Christians are known as the Ku Klux Klan and the Westboro Baptist Church. Religious extremism is what happens when people follow advice in religious texts literally. Extremist liberals are known as the people who legitimately want to take all guns away, aka Hillary Rodham Clinton. Extremist conservatives are known as the people who think all the country's problems are caused by everyone who isn't a rich white male, aka Donald J. Trump. Extremist Germans of the 30s and 40s were known as Nazis. The extremes are always going to be there, but as soon as one extreme is allowed to come into power, you are looking at the possibility of war, genocide, and perhaps something as severe as a modern version of the Holocaust. We need to find a balance between all of the extremes in our society before one of them comes to power and destroys us all. Sadly, this may not be possible in a nation divided such as ours. Back to the LGBT community. I can't make this video without including all the hate-filled messages of those who responded jovially to the news of the gay club shooting. One of the many sick people praising the shooter was Pastor Roger Jimenez, a Baptist pastor from Sacramento. Amongst the remarks of his sermon, Jimenez said, "Hey, are you sad that 50 pedophiles were killed today? No, I think that's great. I think that helps society. I think Orlando, Florida is a little safer tonight." Perhaps the most chilling thing that the pastor said was, "The tragedy is that more of them didn't die." Think about that for a moment. This man is happy that 50 people were slaughtered simply because of their lifestyle. The fact of the matter here is that a life is a life, and one life is no less valid than the other because of the gender of that person's lover. Also, being gay by no means makes you a pedophile automatically. You'd sure think you'd hear a lot about that if it was true. You know what you do hear about? Creepy uncles and religious figures molesting young children. You don't hear about the crazy gay people who do nothing with their lives but prey on little boys. While I'm sure a number of gay people are pedophiles, equally so are Republicans, Democrats, blacks, whites, straight men, and straight women. Pedophilia doesn't discriminate. Of what I'm sure were thousands of messages of praise for the shooter, I've chosen a few social media hate messages compiled in an article from thoughtcatalog.com, which I am going to show now. More lives than ever are being put in danger because of the rampant hate that exists in our American society. The land of the free? Sure, as long as your romantic partner doesn't have the same junk as you. The home of the brave? Is it brave to hide behind your little mask on social media and wish more innocent people dead because of who they love? That's not brave. Why exactly have I made this video when basically every YouTuber and their grandmother has already made one on this seemingly stale subject? Because it's important not to forget tragic crimes of hate and intolerance that are soon to be pushed under the rug the next time some stupid kid falls into a gorilla pit or an alligator eats a toddler. If you feel like this is a good message that others should hear, I invite you to share this video. If you like what I do, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot more to come now that I no longer fear people's opinions of me and my opinions. As always, everyone, I am the QuietStorm. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.